Yeah. Hey, it's me, the N to the J to the B. I should be hiding my face right now, but we are real around here, aren't we? Okay, so I'm gonna show you. You've seen my apartment before if you've been here a while, but you have never seen seen it look like this. Oh, this is I have like a little satin scarf on. I look terrible. Well, I look like my apartment. Hang on, let me show you. This place is junky from the front door to everywhere else. So, and I'll tell you why I'm showing you this. Okay, so like that's the cute part. I'm trying not to show you the ugly parts, but here we go. Look, shoes. Just this is my suitcase that I partially unpacked because I only partially unpacked it because I need to pack it again and get out of here. Ring light, randomness, supplement and pill bottles, painting supplies over there. Look at my couch. Look at it. Just look. Well, my plants are looking good. Here, let's go over there and see them just for a little bit of positivity. Yeah, I've been watching Yvette Boone's channel, and she cares for her plants like they're little babies. So I enjoy her channel. But yeah, those are my plants, and even after being gone for over a month, they're still pretty happy. Okay, but I digress. This is my couch. Lordy. I was going to do my nails last night, and then I was like, I'll leave this stuff here. I'm going to go to bed, and I'll do them tomorrow. So that stuff is still sitting there. Boxes, because I will need them. This is where I keep things that I'm selling on Poshmark. And it's usually closed up. I opened it up 2 days ago because somebody bought something and I had to ship it. And I just never closed it again because I wanted to take pictures of some things. This is exactly why I tell myself, don't put it down, put it away. Because when I just put things down, this is what happens. When I decided to do this video, I was actually unloading the dishwasher. But I'm just gonna give you, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. This is trifling with a capital T. Bees like that sometimes. but I cannot, ouch, hit the dishwasher. I can't live like this. I can't live like this. So I looked around last night and I was like, yeah, we're gonna have to clean this. But I also need to give away quite a few things. So I'm beginning this process now. So you're probably going to see a lot more chaos as I put things in the boxes and put things in bags. And like right now, I just feel like it needs to be clean, but it's probably, here, let me find my light. Right now, I find myself looking for things in here and then I go, oh wait, that's not here. That's at the house in Playa. You know, like I just... And I refuse to have two of everything. I don't... Let me just shut up and get my act together, okay? I'll see you later. Bye. Okay, y'all, the kitchen is clean-ish. I say ish because this needs to go. That's an old water filter. I put a new filter on here last night. It was time. So that's got to go down the hall to the trash. These two bags need to go down the hall to the trash chute as well. I don't want to run the risk of me getting into a long conversation with somebody in the hallway, so I'll take the trash down later on tonight. But everything else, counters have been sanitized and wiped down. Oh, these don't belong here. Anyway, these are going to go in the cabinet. Dish towels and these gloves are sitting here because they're still a little damp, and I don't want to hang them up here and have them be damp on that wood. So everything else has been cleaned, but I just got to take those few things out. Okay, ooh, child. Okay, so you know, sometimes you have those days where you're like, I look ugly, like just ugly, and I don't need y'all. I don't need anybody to co-sign. You know, I got a mirror. But so, you know, some days are like that where you just like, I look ugly, and I need to just stay at home and be ugly by myself. So I am at home by myself, but I'm on here talking to you. So lucky you. I have a lot to do in here today, as you saw, so that tomorrow I can do some of the like home apartment type things that I need to get done. The check engine light is on in my car for whatever reason. I would ask my dad because he's a mechanic. He's a helicopter mechanic, but he's good with car stuff too. And I would ask him, but he just had surgery, so we're not bothering him. We want him to heal up and you know, chill out. So there's a check engine light on, and it's giving a weird code that my mechanic, who I've been going to for years, and I actually trust him. He wants me to bring the car back in early in the morning tomorrow, and then he's going to keep it for a while. So he's not that far. I'm going to walk there and walk back, and then I got to take it to be smog tested. The state of California requires that, and I won't pass the test with check engine light on. So first things first, and I got to do all of this before I leave here again in, like, I think I'm leaving in fewer than 2 weeks. Whoo, child. The other thing I need to do, and I actually want to do, is I have a number of friends that I haven't seen in a while that are here in LA, that live here, or, you know, they've been traveling like me and they're in and out, and I want to see them. I don't know. I feel bad even saying this. I don't know how I'm going to have the time and the energy to see them all. So that's been troubling me, because while I was away, I was like, oh yeah, I'll be back. You know, my plans changed basically. And I guess that's what I'm going to have to say. The truth, you know, that my plans changed, and I cannot hang out with somebody every day, or two people I can't do it. I'm not here that long. Plus I got stuff that I have to do here. I need to meet with my accountant about some things. I need to pack up some stuff. I need to take pictures for stuff on POSHMARK. Like, I have a lot of things that I need to have happen. And when I got back here, I did some things, but I didn't do it like I got back here last, was it Wednesday? Something like that. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay, so I've been back for 4 days. I slept the day after I got back. I just chilled. The next day, I went out and did some things because I had to. The next day, I did hang out with a friend and came home early because I was still operating on Central Time. And I'm just like, look, I got up early this morning and my body is like, we done. So I drove home and went to bed. And then it was yesterday. I can't even remember what I did yesterday. Anyway, so I'm here. Lots of responses to my last video. I appreciate those of you who watched it. A lot of times it's just me here talking about things that are going on in my life, figuring things out loud, or sharing things that I just figured out, you know, or showing you what the messy middle looks like when you're between chapters. Maybe that's the way to put it. Or maybe this is a chapter unto itself. Whoever knows. The life has beginning and it has an end. And in the middle, I don't think you can really define chapters until they've passed. So, yeah, I don't know. I might be in the middle of 2 chapters, or this might be in the new chapter, and I'm just messy at the beginning of the new chapter, figuratively and literally. I'm glad that what I said in the last video, some of the things I said resonated with so many of you, because sometimes when I'm talking, I just feel like, okay, Nicole, you sound crazy. Let me tell you, this is how I feel. I feel like, okay, I'm Gen X. I don't know what years are Gen X. I think if you Google it, you can find it. I don't know. I just know that I'm Gen X. And after my generation came the millennials, and there were all these news stories that were talking about millennials doing things and moving in ways that mirrored how I felt all along, but I was being seen, or sometimes even being called a weirdo for it. You know, like working a 9-to-5 job. I've talked about this before. I ain't got no problem with you working a 9-to-5 job, is that if that's where you want to be. Hold on, I think somebody's at my door. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. And I'm near a stairwell, so sometimes I'll hear people walk and then stop. And I'm like, who all up in my business? So I thought somebody was standing there listening to me, but I looked out and there was nobody. So what was I saying? Okay, I had to go back and look. I was talking about being a part of Generation X and how when the next generation behind mine, millennials, came on the scene, a lot of the ways that they were moving and the ways that they were doing things and the ways that they thought mirrored things that I had been doing and thinking, and I guess you could say I was ahead of my time. But it's, you know, I've always been non-traditional, and I've been told that, just through the years, not lately, but I've been told that basically I need to fall in line, that things were not going to work out the way that I wanted them to work out, because that's not how the world works. I have been called weird, and I embrace that. Whatever. Just certain things. Like I was talking about a 9-to-5 job. Like I just never, ever felt like I was somebody who could work a 9-to-5 job all my life. Like I just was not built for that. And that's, again, it's not demeaning a 9-to-5 job. It's, I didn't know I had ADHD, but once I got diagnosed, a lot of things made sense, but I just could not see day in and day out, year in, year out, decade in, decade out. I go to this place during the hours that somebody else wants me there, and I push this button. If that's my job, I push this button. If my job is to fill out this form and, you know, send it on to the next desk, I do that all day, every day. Like that just sounded like the worst thing possible. Now, to some of you, you might be like, hey, that sounds good to me. Job security. Let me get my insurance. Let me get my guaranteed paycheck every 2 weeks, which a guaranteed check every couple of weeks or whatever, or ever sounds pretty good to me. But like I know my lifestyle has been and continues to be just, I don't know, chaotic. How do you combine the words chaotic and crazy? Chaotic, crazy, unconventional, whatever you want to call it. And some of you look at my life and you're like, girl, like I don't know how can you manage? I never know what my next gig is gonna be. I never know what the day is gonna bring, which did start to wear on me. That's the thing that I was just like, no. My body was, no, ma'am, we're not doing this. My nervous system was like, we're not doing this. And I never know where my next dime is coming from, ever. But somehow, and I hope it continues. Let me find some wood to knock on. Somehow, I'm still here. Thank God. Thank God. I really have to thank God, because it ain't just me. I did put forth a whole lot of elbow grease, a whole lot of effort, a whole lot of studying, blood, sweat, and tears. But so have a lot of other actors and actresses and artists of all types and entrepreneurs. And sometimes things don't work out. I am blessed because things have worked out. And I'm hoping and praying that they continue to work out. Okay, I took a left turn somewhere, as you know what? I have not taken my ADHD medication today. I should probably take it. I thought I set an alarm. I usually set alarms to remind me to do things, but yeah, it surprised me that my last video resonated with so many people, because a lot of times I feel like not many people think this way, especially maybe the younger generations do, but of my generation, it was still very much frowned upon to not fall in line. But my spirit told me to do something different. And there are certain things that if we continue down that path. Certain things that we know in our gut, we know in our heart, we might even know in our heads that it's not right for us, but we go along to get along, and we do whatever that thing is to make other people happy, to not look bad to society. We just stuff down our own feelings, and we go along to get along. That's the best way I can put it. Going along to get along, as I mentioned in the last video, that doing something that you know isn't right for you in your spirit is like walking around with shoes that are too small, and then at some point you acquire a pebble. Now your foot is bloody. You're trying to ignore it, but people are like, why are you walking like that? You know, you can't ignore it for too long. You can't, or you're really, really going to hurt yourself. Think about that, but on an emotional level and on a spiritual level, in addition to the physical level. That's some kind of pain, you know, if you're not doing what it is that you were designed to do, because we were all designed to do something different. We're puzzle pieces, okay? All of humanity makes up one big puzzle. And if you don't put your piece in, well, I mean, somebody else who has a similar size piece could put it in there, but it's not going to be quite right. The world needs you and what you do and your piece. And I truly believe that. Whatever it is, as long as your plan is not to hurt anybody, do what you do. Now is the time. If you've been looking for permission, I didn't know I was going to talk about this, but if you've been looking for permission to do something that has been on your heart, in your mind, in your spirit for a long time, but you've been waiting for somebody to do it with you, or you've been waiting for somebody to say, oh yeah, that's a good idea, or you've been waiting for this, you've been waiting for the kids to grow up, you've been waiting for the husband to retire, you've been whatever it is, do it. Find a way to do what you need to do. It's so much easier to do things that are natural to you than things that are unnatural to you. Just for an example, you may be really good at accounting, but if you hate it, I mean, you get paid. Yes, you get $1, but I'm of the mindset that physical money, like money, you know, money, all right, it's not the only type of currency. And honestly, it's not the currency of God or of the universe. It's just something that, you know, some man somewhere sometime said, hey, instead of bartering goods and services, let's do money. Let's do like paper and coins and things like that. And we'll make that mean something. Oh, and then we will limit who has access to money. We have to pretend that it's real in this society because somebody said this is what we're using as currency. Think about cryptocurrency. Everybody's heard of Bitcoin, even if you're not familiar really with cryptocurrency and what it does and how it works. You know, Bitcoin is worth a lot of money. At the time of editing, one Bitcoin is worth $35,074 US. You have one Bitcoin is worth a lot of money right now, and has been for the past several years. And there are other cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is the most well known. So before Bitcoin existed, we had paper money and coins. That was our money. We had credit cards, bank accounts. When you transfer money, it's just moving numbers, because you don't see any physical money from that. It's just moving numbers from one account to the next. All right. If paper money was the be all end all of our existence, then how did this Bitcoin come to be money too? How can somebody just declare that these other cryptocurrencies are worth money? Like what? How does that work? It's because money isn't real. You know, it's a concept made up to provide or deny access to certain people. So think about that. All right. It might take some thinking for a while, because it took me a while to wrap my head around it. We need to use it as a tool because that's the currency that the world accepts. You can't go down to the electric company and say, where's the president? I want to braid his hair in exchange for the cost of my light bill. They don't accept that kind of currency. Money is specific for certain things. It's not necessarily the currency that's going to feed your soul, feed your spirit. So now you got to decide, all right, well, how can I do both at the same time? Because I can't, if I'm a braider, I can't offer my braiding services to somebody in lieu of paying them physical money for goods and services. How do I do this? The simplest way to do it, I'm saying simple because it's not always easy, but it's simple. The simplest way to do it is to do what you were designed to do. And nobody can tell you that more than you. You know in your gut. You know. We can ask people all day long, what do you think I'm good at? And that sometimes is valuable because you'll hear something, you'll be like, oh, really? You think that of me? Like I've heard some things and I'm like, I never would have described myself that way, but okay, thank you for giving me that, letting me know how I'm perceived by other people whose opinions I value, because there are probably some people who could say some things and I'm just like, well, I don't care what you think. You know them people. We've all had them in our lives at one point or another. Sometimes we do ourselves a disservice in asking people to validate us, to validate our talents, to validate our skills when we already know what we should be doing, what direction we should be moving in. And we're really just, as one of my therapists years ago put it, when people ask for advice, they're usually asking for an alibi. And I was like, ooh. Sometimes they're asking for an ally too, which is not problematic, but if you are in the position of waiting for someone to validate you, validate your talent, validate your innate abilities, ding, okay, I validated you. Do it. Do what you're supposed to do. The world needs what you have. Think about if everybody had the same talent. Think about it. You look at social media, which I'm glad wasn't a thing when I was growing up. It can make you feel like you're inadequate. It can make you feel like, oh my goodness, look at this other person doing this wonderful thing and I'm just here wishing I could do X, Y, Z. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes of anybody's life. Like you just see, like even with me, I feel like I'm transparent, but if I film 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day, every day, which I don't do every day, and I tell you, okay, this is me, there's still a whole lot of day left for me to do other things. So you don't get to see everything. And some people don't tell the truth. There are a whole lot of folks who don't tell the truth because they feel inadequate. So you're looking at them and going, oh, I wish I could be like them, or I wish I could have this or that. And they have this or that, but they're not happy, or they're fronting. Sometimes people don't have this or that. They just feel like they need to make it look like they have this or that because the people who they watch on social media or follow on social media are goals to them. So don't compare yourself to other people. Get quiet, get still, and listen to that little voice. You know the one. Sometimes you're ignoring it. Sometimes you are overeating to not listen to it. You are drinking too much to not listen to it. You are drugging, you're shopping, you're gambling, you're partying, whatever it is, to avoid listening to it. Some people are like, I know I'm finna step on some toes, but some people are all up in the Bible and all up in the church to avoid non-spiritual real life. Yes, spirituality is a part of your life, but you are a spiritual being having a human experience. So where's the humanity part of your human experience. Like you can't live up in the church and the Bible cannot be, it's a guide for your life, but the Bible cannot be your entire life. Yeah, I know some of y'all ain't gonna like that, but I've seen it. Folks who won't make a move at all on their own. Okay, fine, pray about it. But make a move too. You know? Pray about it. Watch as well as pray. Work as well as pray. You waiting on God, God waiting on you. Because you already know what you're supposed to be doing. And you sitting around waiting on God is a lot of times an excuse. Sometimes it's valid. But more often than not, based on some folks that I've known and talked to and seen, and you know, I live in the world too. So, well, I'm waiting on God. Okay, you have known for 56 years now that you were supposed to do blah, blah, blah. What are you doing? Because God ain't gonna give you the next instruction if you ain't followed instruction number 1. Why would he? I promise you, I get it. It is hard to dismantle your life. It's hard to leave or abandon, in some cases, let go of the life that you've built. Sometimes things that can't be replaced. A certain idea of who you are, or a certain idea of how people see you. It's hard. It's hard work. And I would not tell anybody to just do it lightly, you know, just leave home and do X, Y, Z, whatever. What has helped me in my life is, first of all, I had a good foundation. I come from a family that built me strong. I appreciate that. I really do. I was loved. I knew it. And I was valued, and I knew it. And I knew that even as I went off and went away to college, you know, and then moved to LA, I knew that if things went horribly wrong, I could go back home and regroup and then head out again or figure out what my next plan was. I'm fortunate. I know that not everybody has that. Now, I never wanted to fall back on that, you know, because it's like, I'm how old? And now I'm living back with my mama, or, you know, like, who? Oh, okay, Dad, I got to move in with you. Can I, you know, I didn't want to do that, of course. And thank God it has not come to that. I hope it never does, because I want to be in a position of providing assistance rather than needing assistance. I don't know, maybe it's an ego thing. I'll explore that later. If you didn't come from a situation like that, say you came from a situation where people, you know, didn't care what you did, you know, didn't pay any attention to you, didn't validate you, didn't expect much from you. The environment in which you were raised is not your fault. It's not. But healing is your responsibility. So I'm always trying to send people to therapy. I believe therapy with the right therapist. There's some horrible therapists out there too, and I've run into some of them. If you need to go to therapy, do that. Do it. Get yourself healed, get yourself free. If you need to go to church, if you need to develop a yoga practice or meditation practice, whatever you need to do to be okay, I want you to do that. Okay? And I want you to know that you've gotten this far in life by being capable. And this is something that my current therapist pointed out a couple weeks ago when I was freaking out about, you know, like, if I give up my LA apartment, I'm gonna lose my friends, da 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 da. And if I keep it, like, I don't want to be an unwise steward of the 2 nickels I got in the bank and just be spending it on living in 2 places when, you know, there's only one me. Like, I was really worked up. And she pointed out to me, as I'm about to point out to you before I close, that I'd been through some rough times before. There are times when I found myself, my income was going down because, again, I never know when my next dime is coming in. And sometimes even if you've worked a lot as an actor or an artist, period, you don't know when that check is coming, you know. If I did a commercial, like I shot 5 commercials one year, I was counting my money before it came. 3 of them never aired, ever, like ever. So I got paid for the one day shoot, and I didn't get another dime from those 3 commercials. And then the other 2 didn't air until like months and months and months later. So I was broke. I had to drive Lyft. I was very unhappy during that time. I was I was salty. I spent a lot of that year angry. Then I had to move out of my apartment that I loved it. And I had to move. Well, I accidentally moved to the hood. Accidentally. That's another story for another time. Accidentally. I only stayed there a year and then I moved here. And I never want to go through that again. I never want to go through it. But guess what? I survived. I'm still here. Just like I was capable enough to figure it out. Okay, how am I going to do this? All right. So can you. You've gotten to this point in life by figuring out how to maneuver. Problems come up. All right, well, how do I navigate around this? How do I just incorporate this challenge into my life? Because one of the worst things that you can do for your life is limit yourself in your head. I remember decades ago, I clipped things out of magazines, and I think I got this thing from the O magazine. Wait, hold on. I gotta remember where I put it. I looked for it, couldn't find it. It said, "No one can see your vision except for you, and even you can't see it all." And I kept that because it resonated with me. It's like, all right, I've lived a life so far where when I began certain things, people are like, well, how you gonna do that? Well, what you gonna do with that? Well, what? And something else that I'll have to talk more with you about later was that I stayed in a relationship too long. I mean, yeah, it's done, but it's way done now. But like I stayed in too long. But looking back, after a relationship ends and you look back, I realized that a lot of things that I wanted to do or said I was going to do, because I valued his input and thought he had my best interest at heart, I would say, hey, what do you think of this? And then sometimes he would be like, no, I don't think you should do that because blah, 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 blah. And I would accept his opinion as valid. Okay, well, he's looking out for me, and yeah, he is right about this or that. He was very good at being logical. But sometimes the things that you are meant to do aren't logical. But still, in your gut, you should be doing them, you can do them well, and you'll find a way to make money at it. Listen, if you look around at the things that people are doing now, like even new jobs that are coming up, who would have thought? So whatever it is that's in your spirit to do, in your gut, in your mind, that I should be doing this, or I would much rather be doing this, or I am great at this and I would love every second of it, do that. There's a way to make money at it, and you're capable and you'll find it. Okay? And keep in mind, like Oprah said, not everyone can see your vision, and even you can't see it all. Take the first step. I don't know what I intended to talk about today, but this wasn't it. But this is where we are. That's, like we often end up somewhere unintended and find that it can be pretty good there too. I should probably finish cleaning up, but I just wanted to stop and talk to you all for a while. And let's just see this raggedy hair. It's turning orange again. I got roots. I'm gonna get it together, all right? I'll get it together, I promise. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.